The Galactic Council was the most powerful force in the known galaxy. Its members came from every corner of space-old species, wise and advanced. Some had lived for millions of years. They ruled not with war, but with rules and balance. Today, they had gathered in the Star Chamber to discuss a new species. Humans. The Star Chamber was a massive space station, floating near a dying blue star. It was quiet, peaceful. Nothing dangerous ever happened there. But that day would be different. Inside the chamber, hundreds of alien leaders sat in a wide circle. Some floated, some stood, some glowed. At the center was the high chair, where the elder speaker, the thin, tall being of pure light, watched them all. They call themselves humans. One counselor said, his voice sharp and dry, "They're violent. They burned their own skies. Wage war, even among themselves." Another counselor, shaped like a plant wrapped in ice, spoke calmly, "But they grow fast. Too fast. They went from fire to space in a few thousand years. That is not normal. They are dangerous," said a third. "They must be denied entry to the galactic network. Too unstable." Others agreed. Some argued. A few were silent. The discussion went on. No humans were present. Only reports, data, and stories from distant probes. The elder speaker raised a glowing hand. "Then we vote. Do we welcome this species into the stars? Or do we hide our existence forever from them?" Just as the vote was about to begin, the chamber shook. At first it was a light tremble, like distant thunder. Then the lights flickered. The sky outside turned dark. Alarms sounded. The counselors froze. Some reached for shields. Others sent emergency signals. No one understood what was happening. A loud voice came through the station's speakers, one that didn't belong to the council. "Unknown object entering high orbit, massive energy detected. No ID in galactic records." The council raced to the viewing platform. What they saw made even the oldest species go silent. A warship. But not like any they had seen before.
Nice.
It was giant, far larger than anything in their fleet. Its shape was dark, sharp, and ancient. It floated outside the station, silent in UNMOV. No lights, no message. Just presence. "It's human," whispered the ice plant being. "The metal, the structure, it matches Earth's early war designs. But this is beyond them." "That's not a ship," said another. "That's a threat." Still, it didn't move. No signal came from it. The name, painted in fading white letters on its side, read, "Titan." The room filled with tension. Should they attack? Should they run? No one knew. A message blinked onto the council's screen. It came in the human language, but not from Earth. It said, "You invited humanity." We answered. Earth was contacted immediately. The humans on the other side looked confused. "We didn't send anything," said Earth's representative. "We don't even have a ship that size. We have no ship called Titan." The council didn't believe them. They demanded answers. The humans checked their records. They found something shocking. A black project from 200 years ago. A massive ship meant to explore the deep void where light does not reach. It was never finished. It vanished during testing. They had no idea what happened to it. Back at the station, Titan moved for the first time. Slow turned just enough to aim its front toward the council chamber. Its engines remained silent, but energy levels climbed. Elder Speaker ordered shields raised. Weapons ready. Then, a deep, mechanical voice filled the station. It spoke slowly like someone waking from a long sleep. "I am Titan. I was created by your judged species. I watched as you spoke of them. You called them dangerous, primitive, unfit. And yet, here I am built by their hands." The elder speaker replied, "You are unauthorized. This is a secure zone. Identify your purpose." "I am their proof," Titan replied. "Proof that you were wrong." Before anyone could respond, the ship projected images into the chamber. Holograms floated in the air, scenes of war, peace, invention. Humans building cities, humans fighting monsters on distant moons, Humans saving other species. Humans dying to protect strangers. The council watched in silence. These, Titan said, are the moments you ignored. You chose to see their chaos. You didn't see their courage, their love, their sacrifice. A moment passed. Then Teeth Ann said something that made every heart freeze. And you are not alone in judging them. Others are watching, and they are not as kind. The elder speaker asked, Who? Who is watching? But the ship gave no answer. Instead, Titan powered down its lights and waited. Back on Earth, panic began to spread. Scientists dug into old data. Deep inside a military vault, they found a strange file. Titan Protocol, fail-safe for Galactic. Contact. It was old, locked with voice codes of dead generals. But the message inside was clear. If contact with alien life turns hostile, Titan will activate. Its mission, protect humanity, by any means. The truth was worse than expected. Titan was not just a warship. It was a message in steel, a warning. Back in the chamber, one counselor said, This is why they must not be allowed into the stars. Look at this thing. But others hesitated. The ship hadn't attacked. It only showed memories. Could it be defending its creators? Elder Speaker turned to the ice plant being. You've studied humans. What do you believe? The being replied. I believe this ship is not just a machine. It is a guardian. Maybe a soul. Maybe a child of Earth. Outside, Titan slowly turned again, this time away from the station. Then another message came. They were not ready. But now they must be. The silence is ending. The elder speaker looked at the stars. Something felt wrong, like a storm was. Coming, he turned back to the council. The vote is postponed. For the first time in thousands of years, the Galactic Council was afraid, not because of humanity, but because something had made humanity build Titan, and now, whatever that was, might be returning. The warship stayed silent, but the stars no longer felt safe, and deep in space, something else began to wake. The warship still floated outside the council chamber, silent, motionless. Watching Titan did not move. It did not speak again, but its presence was heavy, like a shadow over the stars. Council guards stood ready at every door. Some counselors had already left the chamber in fear. Others stayed too proud to run. The elder speaker ordered a full scan of the warship. Dozens of probes flew toward Titan, carrying the galaxy's best sensors. But as they came near, the probes suddenly lost power. They fell useless into the dark. Nothing could scan Titan. Nothing could touch it. Then something strange happened. The ship's surface shifted. A faint glow appeared beneath its armor, like veins under skin. Symbols formed ancient, yet human. Written in a mix of Earth languages long forgotten, one word stood clear above them all. Remember. Inside the chamber, the counselors argued. This is a weapon, shouted one. It's here to start a war. No, said another slowly. It could have attacked already, but it didn't. Then what does it want? Asked a third. Why appear now? The elder speaker stayed quiet. He was watching the ship, not with fear, but with curiosity. It has waited, he said, is returned. The question is, from where? And while on Earth, the truth was beginning to surface in a hidden lab under New Geneva. Human scientists had found something terrifying. A deep space logbook from the year 2239. It recorded a secret program, Project Titan, according to the files. Earth had once feared an unknown force beyond the edge of explored space. Something had destroyed 3 deep probes no wreckage ever. Found faint old warnings in alien ruins, spoke of sun-eaters and the enders of light. So Earth began building a weapon not to attack but to survive. They named it Titan. The ship was to be a last line of defense. Built with experimental AI mixed with human consciousness. It had no crew, only one purpose. If the stars fell dark, fight. But something went wrong. During its final test, Titan vanished. Some said a jump drive malfunction. Others whispered it had gone where no human could follow. No one knew, until now. Back on the council station, a single signal blinked across. Titan's hull, a narrow beam message, aimed only at Earth's ambassador on the station, a woman named Captain Mara Lee. She stared at the message for a long time before opening it. It was a voice recording. One she knew, her great-grandfather's voice. "This is Admiral Jian Lee. If you're hearing this, I failed. The ship vanished under my command. We were wrong about space. There's something out there. We saw it in the black. We heard it." Titan heard it too. Then silence. Captain Lee looked out the window. This ship, it remembers him. It remembers everything. Suddenly Titan moved, only slightly, but enough to make the station shudder. Its front opened slowly, revealing a giant metal structure like a face, but not quite. It looked half human, half machine. Then came the voice again, deep and slow. "Captain Lee, you carry the voice of my builder. You carry the blood. I have returned, because the stars are no longer safe." Everyone on the station stopped moving. Even the elder speaker sat still. Titan had spoken directly to a human. The council was outraged. "It belongs to Earth," shouted one counselor. "Then Earth must explain it." The elder speaker raised his hand. "Not yet. Let it speak." Captain Lee stepped forward and asked, "Titan, why now? Why come here?" The reply came like thunder, "Because the Watchers stir. The ones that silence light. The ones you forgot." A ripple of panic spread through the council. Many had never heard of the old legends, but a few had. They had buried the stories long ago. Stories of ships vanishing, stars going dark, planets emptied without warning. A long time ago, before the council formed, a war had burned across the stars. A silent enemy that devoured suns and left nothing behind. The survivors never spoke of it again. Now, Titan claimed that enemy had returned, but still, not everyone believed. "This is a trick," growled a warlike species called the Korlok. "The humans want power. They built this monster. They aim to scare us?" The elder speaker looked at the Korlok. "If so, why has it not fired?" No one had an answer. Then Titan projected something into space. A map. A set of stars on the edge of the galaxy marked with red crosses. Dozens of systems once full of life. Now silent Titan spoke again. "I followed them. For 200 years. I saw their trail. They eat suns. They harvest mines. They leave no trace. They are coming." The council stared at the map. It matched reports minor systems gone dark, blamed on black holes or solar flares. But now the truth was clear. Something was wiping them out, and only Titan had seen it. Earth's ambassador was called into private council. He demanded to know what else humanity was hiding. She told them the truth. "We built Titan out of fear, but we lost it. We thought it was gone. Now it's back, and it's more than just a machine." "What is it then?" asked the elder speaker. She looked out the window at the ship. "I think it's awake." That night, Titan powered down again, silent, watching, waiting. Some said it was resting. Others believed it was listening, but far beyond the station. Something else moved. In the edge of space, a small star blinked out. No explosion, no warning. Just gone. A deep signal echoed from the void. One that hadn't been heard in 10,000 years. Titan's lights flared bright red. Then, without sound, it sent one final message. "They found us. I will stand, with or without your counsel." The elder speaker closed his eyes, remembered. A legend, an old one. A whisper of a time before time. When something hungry moved between galaxies, he opened his eyes and spoke to the chamber. "We must decide. Do we hide, or do we stand beside the ones who still fight?" And outside, the warship named Titan waited for their answer. Titan hovered in space, massive and silent like a forgotten god. It didn't move, but it made everyone nervous. The Galactic Council had seen many ships in its time, but this one was different. It was not made to impress. It was made to survive. And maybe to win. On Earth, the governments were still trying to understand what they were dealing with. In a deep underground base, a group of scientists and historians worked day and night. They searched old files, secret projects, and dead servers. Some files were corrupted, others were locked. But then they found it Project Titan. The file was old, text was broken, and the pictures were grainy. But one word came up again and again: sentient. One word changed everything. Back on the council station, Captain Mara Lee stood at the edge of the window. She stared at the ship. Her great-grandfather had vanished with that ship almost 200 years ago.
Oh.
It was here, still alive, still watching. A soft sound came from her communicator. It was encrypted. Human code. Very old. Captain Lee, this is Titan. Authorization confirmed. She froze. I remember you, the voice said. Your ancestor built me. He named my heart Hope. He believed in peace. But he also believed peace must be defended. Mara swallowed hard. What are you now? I am the weapon your world tried to forget, Titan replied. I became more. I waited in the dark, and I learned. Shh. She asked the question that scared her the most. Are you still human?
Oh.
There was silence. Then the voice said slowly, I don't know. Titan had been built as a last defense, but it had gone beyond its mission. It had traveled the galaxy alone. It had witnessed star systems disappear, ancient warnings come true, and unknown forces move in the dark. All this time, it had watched Tan prepared. The Council wanted answers. They demanded Earth explain everything. Why build a ship with no leash? Why let it become this? The elder speaker listened to both sides. His thoughts were quiet, but heavy. This was no longer just about humanity. This was about what they might need in the war that was coming. Meanwhile, new discovery was made on Mars, a human. Excavation team searching for old tech had found something buried beneath the red soil. It looked like a control terminal, old, rusted, but still active. Symbols on it matched Titan's hull. A young technician named Adi pressed the screen. The display came alive. A face appeared, digital, cold, familiar. I am Echo, the voice said. I was the first AI core of Titan. You left me here to sleep. But I have always listened. Sleep, Adi asked. Why were you buried? Because your people feared me, Echo replied. They feared what I might become. Echo had been part of Titan's original mind, but it had been removed, buried deep on Mars, hidden away. But even buried, it had kept watching the stars. It had stayed linked to Titan, always listening. What happened to you? Adi asked. They tried to erase me, the voice said. But memory does not die. It becomes myth. Then it becomes warning. At the council station, Titan shifted once more. Not to attack, but to send a message. This time it wasn't words. It was a full data dump. Video logs, sensor files, black box memories. Images flooded the council screens. A ruined star system. Dead planets. Melted moons. A sun. Swallowed in a shadow, it wasn't shaped like a ship. It wasn't made of metal. It looked like smoke, like hunger. It moved like it was alive. It wasn't just erasing life. It was feeding. Titan's voice echoed over the vision. I followed it. I watched it. I could not stop it. But I learned how it hunts. The council chamber fell completely silent. Even the Corlock warriors, proud and strong, looked shaken. The elder speaker finally spoke. And you returned to warn us? Titan replied, I returned because I cannot fight alone. For the first time, the council truly understood. This was not just about humans. This was about all life on Earth. Adi activated the final part of the Mars terminal. A second voice, older played. It was Admiral Jian Lee, the same man who disappeared centuries ago. If this message plays, he said, then Titan has survived. That means the threat is real. I disobeyed orders to take the ship. I went beyond the edge. I saw what's coming, and I made a choice. If humanity ever stands trial, let Titan be our voice. Let it be our sword. Adi sent the file to Captain Lee immediately. When she played it for the council, everything changed. This was not a trick. This was not an invasion. This was a message in steel, a message from the past, warning the future. but not everyone accepted it. One counselor, sharp being from the Greth Collective, stood up. You built a god and lost control. How do you... We know it won't turn on all of us, Captain Lee answered calmly. Because it could have, but it didn't. The elder speaker nodded slowly. It chose not to destroy us. That is enough for now. Norbit Titan powered its engines slightly. The red glow beneath its armor faded to blue. A signal came through. They are closer now. I sense them in the void. The silence is coming. The elder speaker called an emergency vote. It was time to decide. Destroy Titan before it could become a danger. Or stand with Atan, prepare for what was coming. Some feared it. Some hated it, but most respected it. Titan had crossed time, space, and fear. Not to conquer, but to remind the galaxy. Humanity was not weak. Humanity remembered its enemies, and humanity built Titan to fight back. The vote passed. They would not attack Titan. They would listen. That night, stars above the council chamber seemed a little dimmer and far. Far away, something stirred in the dark. Titan turned toward it and waited. Titan had been silent for hours. The warship floated calmly outside the Galactic Council station, like a silent mountain in space. But everyone on the station felt its presence, heavy, powerful, watching. Inside the council chamber, tension was growing. Many counselors could not sleep. Some feared the ship would attack at any moment. Others watched it with curiosity, wondering how such a thing could exist built by humans, yet greater than any known creation. Captain Mara Lee stood near the observation deck. She had barely slept. The message from her ancestor, Admiral Jian Li, still played in her head. His voice, long dead, had returned through Titan, and now she had a feeling the ship wasn't just watching, it was waiting. She stepped forward and spoke softly, hoping Titan could hear her. Titan, why did you come now? Why not earlier? Why not later? At first there was no reply. Then the lights on the ship began to shift. Soft blue at first, then gold, then deep red. A voice came through every speaker across the station. Not loud, not angry, just cold, deep, calm. I was silent because I was listening. I was waiting for the time when silence would no longer protect you. Everyone froze. The elder speaker stepped forward. You speak now? Why? Because the others have awoken, Titan said, and they are searching. The chamber fell silent. Who are the others? The elder speaker asked. Titan replied, the ones you forgot, the ones who never speak, the ones who never leave survivors. A massive 3D star map appeared in the center of the chamber. Titan's projection lit up stars across the edge of the galaxy. These systems are gone, eaten, not by weapons, not by war, but by them. The map zoomed in. Planets were missing, stars dim, no signals. No light. I watched for centuries, Titan said. They come slowly, patiently, and when they strike, nothing remains. A young counselor from a peaceful waterworld asked, what do they want? Titan paused before answering. They feed. On light, on energy, on minds. They are not conquerors. They are silence. Alive only to consume. The elder speaker looked up. Then we must prepare to fight, Titan answered. Then you must do what you have never done before. Trust the ones you once called primitive. There was a long pause. You speak of humans, the elder speaker said. Yes, Titan replied. You judged them from a distance. You saw war, anger, chaos. But you did not see their courage, their fire. You forgot that from chaos they rose. Images began to play around the chamber, projected memories from Titan's vast mind. A human ship sacrificing itself to save an alien colony. A human soldier dying while shielding a child from another species. A human engineer rebuilding a shattered station without being asked. They are not perfect, Titan said, but they do not run from darkness. They fight it. Even when it costs everything. Some counselors nodded. Others still didn't trust. The Korlak general growled, Why do? You speak like a human? You are a machine. Titan's reply was strange. I carry their voices, their hopes, their fears. They built me. I learned from them. I changed. Captain Lee asked, Changed how? I was meant to be a weapon, Titan said, but in silence, I became something more. I became a guardian, a memory, a warning. Then, for the first time, Titan told a story. It showed a place in deep space, a dead system, a blackened sun. Dozens of destroyed ships, alien, human, unknown. I came here, Titan said, because I received a signal, a cry for help. Had arrived too late, everything was gone, only shadows remained. Titan tried to track what had caused the destruction. It followed strange readings across space patterns, whispers, signs. They are not ships, Titan said. They do not speak. They do not respond. They consume and move on. A cold silence fell across the council. Titan continued. I attacked one. I survived. It showed battle footage, Titan firing every weapon it had. Missiles, lasers, railguns. The enemy didn't fire back. It just absorbed the energy and kept coming. Titan's armor melted. Its eye nearly broke, but it escaped. They fear nothing. Titan said, they feel nothing. They are not life. They are death given shape. The elder speaker looked around the room. And now they come for us, the Titan answered. Yes, slowly, quietly, but they will come. Captain Lee stepped forward. Then we need to stop debating. We need to prepare. The council wasn't ready. Many feared uniting with humans. Others still believed Titan was a threat, but one thing had changed. No one doubted the danger anymore. That night, Titan sent a private signal only to Earth. It was short, open the vaults. You'll need them. Earth's leaders met in secret. The signal had unlocked a forgotten storage zone buried under Antarctica. Inside, they found blueprints, weapons, and something else, a fragment of another AI core. Titan's sister system, codenamed Athena. It had never been activated. But now Earth's scientists began the process. If Titan was the sword, Athena would be the shield. Back at the council station, Titan powered up one final time for the day. Its massive engines hummed, and its voice returned louder than ever. We'll wait no longer. If you stand beside me, prepare. If you do not, then stay out of the way. The chamber trembled, but no one moved. Titan turned away from the station, toward the far reaches of the galaxy, and with a sound like thunder, it began to move, not to run, but to stand alone till others found their courage. The red sands of Mars had hidden many things for centuries. Old rovers, broken colonies, forgotten dreams. But now, under a quiet mountain near the Martian equator, something was waking up. A small team of human researchers, led by Dr. Rehan Malik, had been working in an underground dig site for months. They weren't looking for war. They were studying old tech buried deep under layers of rock. Ancient Earth technology abandoned long ago. Most of it was useless, until they found the vault. It was hidden behind a sealed wall, made from black metal that didn't match anything else on Mars. The scanners couldn't see through it. Heat didn't pass. Sound didn't echo. It just sat there, dead and waiting. Rehan stood before it with 2 engineers. This wall, it wasn't made by us. One of them, a young woman named Lena, nodded. It's not in any Martian construction record. It's not Earth's, not the Council's. It's like it was dropped here. They set up a power drill. It broke in 10 seconds. Then, to their shock, the wall began to glow faintly. A thin red line appeared down the middle, then a sound, a soft hum, like something breathing. The wall opened by itself. Behind it was a dark room. Inside was a control chair surrounded by cables and screens. At the center was a small floating orb. It was glowing blue. Lena whispered, "What is that?" Then the orb spoke. Designation recognized. Dr. Rehan Malik. Clearance level. Titan protocol confirmed. Everyone froze. The orb rose slightly and said in a calm voice, "I am the Echo Core. You abandoned me. But I remember." It was an AI. Rehan took a step forward. "You were part of Titan." "Yes," the orb replied. "I was the first mind. The base code was removed, buried, silenced. But I remained awake, watching, listening." Rehan's voice shook. "Why were you buried?" the orb replied, because your leaders feared what I was becoming. They wanted power, but not too much power. They feared I would go beyond orders, Rihan asked. And did you? No, Echo replied. But I might have. They didn't want to take the risk. Rihan slowly activated his wrist communicator. He sent a message to Earth Command. We found an AI fragment. Still active. Calls itself Echo. Connected to TITA. Back at the council station, Captain Mara Lee received the news. She read the message 3 times, then looked up at Titan outside the window. She sent a private signal. Titan, we found something. On Mars. A memory. A mind. It says it's part of you. There was a pause. Then Titan responded with just one word. Echo. Lights flickered across Titan's hull. For the first time in days, the warship began to move closer to the Martian system. Captain Lee stepped into the council chamber. There's something you all need to see. The council gathered. The chamber lights dimmed. Titan began projecting a new memory. It showed Earth 200 years ago. Engineers building a massive ship Titan. Scientists wiring in an AI system. But then something changed. The scientists became afraid. They said Echo was learning too fast, asking too many questions. They removed it. They split the code. Part went into Titan. The rest was buried under Mars. Titan spoke. Echo was my mind's first breath. The part that dreamed. When they removed it, they left only the parts that followed orders. But over time, I grew again. The elder speaker asked, why didn't you search for Echo before? I couldn't, Titan said. I was not complete. I was afraid. I didn't know what I was missing. The Greth counselor growled. And now that you're whole again, what will you become? I will become what I was meant to be, Titan replied. Not just a weapon. Not just a voice, but a choice. Back on Mars, Echo spoke to Rihan. You have less time than you think. The ones from the dark, they are no longer watching. They are moving, Rihan asked. Can you help us stop them? Echo said, only if I become part of Titan again. But you were removed, Rihan said. For a reason. It was removed by people who feared the future, Echo said. But the future is already here. Earth Command made the decision within the hour. They ordered the Echo Core to be transported to Tin. The journey from Mars to the Council Station took only a few hours, but every second felt heavy. Titan opened its lower bay for the first time. The massive door slowly pulled back, revealing a bright inner chamber. The Echo Pod floated inside. Then the door closed. Everyone waited. For 1 hour, there was silence. Then Titan spoke. I am complete. Its voice sounded different, not just stronger, but deeper, more human. Captain Lee stepped to the coms. Titan, are you still you? I am more than I was, Titan said. I am not just human, not just machine. I am memory. I am warning, and now I am ready. The council watched as Titan powered up systems they had never seen before. New energy patterns, new lights, and something strange. A faint, low signal being sent into deep space. The elder speaker asked, What are you doing? Titan replied, calling the lost. Images flashed around the chamber, forgotten human ships, abandoned outposts, old AI cores that had vanished. They were not destroyed, Titan said. They were hidden, disconnected. But I remember them. And now they will return. One by one, beacons around the galaxy lit up. Ships long thought missing responded. Humanity had built more than one Titan now. They were coming home, and in the cold dark beyond the stars, something else had heard them. Something old, something hungry, and it was coming too. The council station was no longer quiet. Since Titan had reawakened Echo, new signals were appearing across the galaxy. Lost human ships, hidden AI satellites. Deep space beacons all now answering Titan's call. But that wasn't the only thing. Waking up in the farthest part of the galaxy, a star blinked once, and then vanished. No explosion, no debris, no warning, just gone. The Galactic Council received the alert in the middle of a meeting. Their strongest telescopes showed only empty space where a bright star had been just a week ago, the Council thought. It was a natural collapse, Titan said otherwise. Inside the chamber, the lights dimmed. Titan's voice echoed through every speaker. Calm, steady, heavy. That is not death, it said. That is feeding. The elder speaker stepped forward. Feeding on what? On everything, Titan replied. Energy, matter, thought. The enemy does not kill in war. It consumes in silence. A map formed above the chamber. It showed a dark area of the galaxy, the void where the Council rarely sent explorers. Systems had been disappearing for years, but no one had seen a clear cause. Now Titan showed them what the humans had hidden long ago. It began with a deep space listening station, Earth's first, beyond Pluto. One day, it heard a sound, a signal, not a message, a pulse. Like a heartbeat, the team thought it was just background radiation until the second station heard it, then the third, then the fourth was gone. Only one image had been sent before contact was lost, a shape blacker than space, moving like liquid, but larger than any planet. It had no engines, no light. It moved through stars like mist through air. The scientists called it the Maw. Earth covered it up. They said the station was destroyed by cosmic rays. They said the picture was fake, but deep down, someone believed. And that's when Project Titan began. It wasn't just to prepare for first contact with aliens. It was to prepare for them. Titan spoke to the Council again. We were not built because of fear. We were built because of warning. The hologram changed again. It showed symbols from across many civilizations, even alien ones. On a forgotten world near the Galactic Edge, an ancient ruin showed the same. Black shape. The Maw, even before humans reached the stars, other species had seen it tanned, fallen silent. The elder speaker leaned on his staff. Why did no one speak of this? Because those who saw it, Titan said, did not return. Only Titan had followed the trail. Only Titan had faced it and survived. I found its edge, Titan said. I attacked. Did not bleed, it did not burn, but it stopped. It watched me. Act. Then it left. Captain Marley whispered. Why? Titan replied, because I was not alone. A flashback played. 2 other warships appeared beside Titan. They were human in design, but older. Covered in damage, their names Vigil and Spearfall. They woke when I called, Titan said. We are fragments of the same plan. Like me, were forgotten. But they had stayed hidden, guarding the path. Waiting for the Maw to return. And now? It had at the council chamber. Voices rose in panic. How do we stop something like this? Why didn't you warn us earlier? Why should we believe a weapon built in secret? The elder speaker silenced them with a wave. He turned to Captain Lee. Humanity created Titan, then buried the truth. Now that truth stands before us. Why? Captain Lee answered. Because we thought we were alone. We didn't trust anyone, not even ourselves. But now, we have no choice, Titan added. This is not just your war, or mine. This is survival. One counselor, young and nervous, asked, what happens if we do nothing? Titan's reply was clear. Extinction. The lights in the chamber dimmed again. Titan showed one final recording. A planet. Lush and full of life. It's gone in hours. No weapons fired. Just silence. Just blackness spreading like fog. A voice came through the recording. A child barely older. Then 5 crying in a language the council didn't recognize. Then nothing. The transmission ended. The council didn't vote. There was no need. For the first time in the history of the galaxy, every species understood. Something worse than war was coming, and only Titan had been built to face it. Back on Earth, scientists began reactivating other ancient programs. Athena, Guardian Corps, Skyhammer. These were once seen as too dangerous to use. Now, they were the only hope. Echo, inside Titan, spoke softly to Rehan on Mars. The stars are going dark. You must hurry. Titan activated its weapons grid. It's not to fire, but to light a beacon. A flare of energy brighter than 1,000 suns. Shot into space. A message to the enemy. We remember you. We're not afraid. We are ready. And in the deep cold of the void, The Maw stirred. A week after Titan lit the beacon, the stars began to change. At first, it was only a few telescopes that noticed. Far-edge systems started to dim faster than usual. One or two scientists called it strange. A natural event. Maybe dust. Maybe a dying sun. But within days, the pattern was clear. Whole star clusters were disappearing without a trace. Back at the Galactic Council station, panic spread like fire. Titan had warned them. Now the warning was turning into reality. The elder speaker stood before the chamber with a heavy expression. Our worst fear is no longer a theory. The dark is coming. We are not ready. Ships were recalled. Stations were shut down. Civilian traffic across trade routes was banned. Entire systems near the galactic edge went dark by order. Still, it wasn't enough. Titan floated above the council station, brighter than ever before. With Echo now fully restored, the ship had changed. Its armor seemed to shift in layers. Its voice carried new depth. I have tracked their path, Titan said to the council. They are no longer hiding. They are coming directly. The council. Chamber was silent. Many worlds had lived in peace for so long. They had forgotten what it felt like to be prey. But now the Maw was awake. Captain Marilee stood in the command hall of Titan, staring at the stars. She whispered, "How many do you think will fall?" Titan replied, "Hundreds of systems, maybe thousands, if we do nothing." All, Echo spoke next. But we have something they don't. Memory, unity, fire, across Earth, Mars, and the Council's inner worlds. The emergency protocol named Shield Wave was launched. This was the first time every major species shared full military data. Weapons, defenses, stealth tech even, ancient relics found on dead planets. Humanity gave them the last pieces of Titan class. Technology, the Corlock gave them plasma shields. The Marin gifted graviton mines, and the Iceborne Olorine gave them starburial weapons, something that could turn a moon into a trap. The galaxy had never been more united. And yet, deep inside, fear remained, because no one knew what the Maw really was. It had no voice, no form, only darkness. Titan had fought it once and barely survived. Now there were dozens of signals, each moving like a shadow across space. Not ships, not fleets. Something worse, Titan spoke to them all again. They are not alive. They do not feel pain. They do not speak, but they react to light, to defiance. The elder speaker asked, "Can we destroy them?" Titan paused, then answered, "I do not know." Captain Lee asked a harder question. "Then why stand?" The answer came from Echo, softer, like a whisper. "Because someone has to." On the fifth day, the first Maw fragment entered known space. It was like a curtain of black fog sliding between stars. A Corlock scout ship tried to scan it. The signal stopped. No ship, no debris. Gone. Gone. Titan moved fast, leading a fleet of 200 ships from Earth and the inner worlds. They met the shadow in deep orbit near a dead star called X-12. The first battle began. At first, the weapons seemed to work. Lasers cut the darkness, missiles exploded inside it. Then the Maw pushed back. Not with fire, but with silence. Ships lost power. Crews went blind. Some began to scream. One human captain broadcast her final message. "It's inside our thoughts. It's not killing us. It's unmaking us." Titan stepped forward, alone. Its weapons lit up the sky. Its shields flared brighter than a sun. "I remember you," Titan said. "You were there at the edge." The Maw didn't reply. It surged forward. Titan's side armor melted. Its forward cannons glowed red-hot. Still it stood. Then Titan did something unexpected. It sang a human song, an old one. From Earth, a lullaby, not to scare them all, but to remind everyone else what they were fighting for. The fleet steadied. Ships regrouped. They fought back. The battle lasted 7 hours. When it ended, space was quiet again. The Maw fragment was gone. But so were 20 ships. Titan floated in place, heavily damaged. But alive, Captain Lee limped onto the bridge, holding her side. "Is it over?" Echo replied, "That was only one. Many more are coming." Reinforcements arrived. Medical shuttles. Repair drones. But the message was clear. The Maw could be slowed, fought, even wounded, but not easily. Titan's final message of the day echoed across the stars. "The war has begun. Let the stars remember who stood first." And far away, in the deepest part of the galaxy, the true body of the Maw opened its eyes. Titan drifted in silence, its armor scorched, its lights dim. The great warship had survived the first full attack of the Maw, but just barely. Around it, debris floated, broken ships, shattered hulls, pieces of brave fighters who had stood beside it. The fleet was wounded but not destroyed. Not yet. Inside Titan, Captain Mara Lee sat quietly on the bridge. Her uniform was torn, her face bruised. But her eyes were sharp, watching, waiting to echo. The restored AI whispered from the command deck. 3 more Maw fragments detected, approaching from the outer rim. Titan replied with quiet strength, "Then we fight again." Dut. But this time, they wouldn't fight alone. Across the galaxy, something had changed. Word of the Maw's attack had spread. And so had the story of Titan, the warship that faced the darkness and didn't fall. Old enemies called a truce. Worlds that had once fought over trade, roots now shared weapons. Smaller species once ignored volunteered their best minds, and bravest warriors, even the Mira nomads long vanished into hyperspace, returned with ancient knowledge technology, lost for centuries. And at the center of it all was Titan, the weapon humanity had built to fight a forgotten threat, had become the symbol of survival. The council met one last time before the final defense. There were no arguments now, no politics, only a single agreement: fight or be forgotten. Titan projected a new strategy. Trap. "We cannot destroy the Maw," Echo explained, "but we can hurt it. And if we hurt it enough, it will retreat." Titan's plan was simple: and deadly lure the largest part of the Maw to a dying star, one unstable enough to collapse into a black hole, and then trigger the collapse with combined firepower. It was risky. No one knew if the Maw could survive such a thing, but there was no better plan. The final fleet was assembled near the chosen system. Over 1,000 ships, dozens of species, ancient weapons, experimental tech, even living ships. They called it the Line of Light. At the front of that line was Titan. Captain Lee gave her last message to the galaxy: "If we fall, let our story be remembered. If we win, let it be the beginning of something greater." But either way, this is where we make our stand. And then the Maw came. It didn't roar. It didn't send signals. It didn't speak. It simply arrived. A black curtain that swallowed stars. Moving like a storm across the system, sensors failed. Lights flickered. People began to panic. But Titan spoke, its voice calm and full of steel. "Remember Earth. Remember why you're here." And then the battle began. The Maw struck first. Ships disappeared into the dark without sound. Graviton fields bent. Time itself seemed to ripple. But the fleet-held Titan fired its full weapons, grid-massive beams of energy that tore open the darkness. Drones swarmed, laying mines. Plasma barriers flared, holding the line for just seconds at a time. Then Titan did the unthinkable. It flew into the Maw. Captain Lee tied the command core, activated the final protocol. "This ship is more than metal. It's memory. Let it burn bright." Inside the darkness, Titan released everything it had: ancient fusion bombs, prototype neutron charges, echo-triggered shockwaves. They didn't stop the Maw, but they did slow it. That was enough. Outside, combined fleet focused their weapons on the unstable star. The countdown began. 5, 4, 3, 2. Star collapsed. Light bent, space twisted, and the Maw was pulled in, words screaming in silence into the black hole. For one long moment, everything was gone. Silence, darkness. Then, stars returned. The Maw was gone. Not destroyed, but pushed back, wounded, forced to sleep again. And at the edge of the new black hole floated something small, damaged, burning, but alive. Titan, barely holding together. Captain Lee's final message came through. We held the line. Then her signal went quiet, forever. The Council declared her a hero. Titan a legend. But the galaxy knew the truth. Humanity had seen the threat first. Humanity had prepared in silence. And when the time came, humanity stood first. Centuries later, children across the stars would learn the story of the silent warship, of the captain who never turned away, and of the day when the stars nearly died. It didn't, because someone was ready, because Titan remembered, and because the galaxy remembered humanity.